guys? Welcome back to Why Body Nation. I'm at 5,033 miles on the odometer. So wanted to give you guys a 5,000 mile review, especially because we are about to change a lot to this car. So am I selling this car? No. Are we getting rid of all the mods? No. But you know, this is about the end of what I would call our first phase of modifications. Am I calling it stage 1 or stage 2? No. I would say it's the end of our first phase, first trial of modifications. So has it been fun? Yes. Has it been a learning experience? Also yes. So I guess I'll just jump right in. I'm gonna go over what we've done to the car. Would I recommend each mod and for who? And some ways you guys could probably save yourself some heartache and some money if you are thinking about or already have a new generation WRX. Now, I guess I'll start big to small. Do I recommend? This car's like driving with its brakes on. Do I recommend the 2022 WRX? Short answer, yes. For low $30,000, you can have a fun all-wheel drive, turbo, peppy car. And for a few $1,000s worth of mods, you can make it a lot more fun, whether you want to do aesthetics or, you know, performance mods, or both. Obviously, the more mods, the more money, generally speaking, but you got a lot of options, and you already know. I mean, half the mods for this car were already basically on the market day one when this car came out, and then obviously companies are coming out with more and more, especially the performance side of the house, because that had to be changed. So, is the car good? Yes. Can it be made into a great car? Absolutely. It just, you need to modify it a little bit. Now, the two biggest critiques I have of the car are the infotainment system, which if you have a 2023, if you get a 2023, I expect that to get fixed because I'm pretty sure the software update has already been done. And then number two, the RTV sealant issue in the motor, where there's extra silicone sealant that goes throughout the motor, that is also hopefully being addressed, because we're starting to see more and more cars that don't have that issue as more cars become available. So getting a 2023 version of these, I would expect to be a little bit more, just less problems. So as far as modifications go, I do not have a lot of visual modifications, but I will go over those. I have more performance modifications, and I'll go over those first. Obviously, you guys are staring at the most obvious one, which is the JB4 piggyback tuner. And this is much different than what we Subaru guys are used to, which is the Cobb Accessport, which totally reflashes the ECU. Now, there's pros and cons to each. In one sentence, the JB4 doesn't or should not void your warranty. Should not. I'm not a professional, but it should not. And your Accessport could very well void your warranty, because the Accessport reflashes your ECU and writes code to it. Whereas this is a piggyback. It's more just like a trickery situation where it plugs into about 5 different sensors and tricks the ECU to thinking that it is still running stock boost, stock air fuel ratio, stock fuel, etc., etc. Now, the JB4 has been fun, and we do not regret getting it, because at the time, the JB4 actually was the only option. When we got the JB4, Cobb was in the process of coming out with the Accessport, and at the time, the only way to run E85 or an E30 blend was to have the JB4. And to my knowledge, a lot of people are still running them in tandem for a few reasons, some of which are more like kind of EPA shenanigan reasons. With that being said, I'm going to the bank to grab some money because we just got rid of some trees from the big windstorm, but I'll keep driving around for you guys and then I'll go grab the money. Do a little more back road driving. So the JB4 has been decent, but the amount of control it offers you is significantly less than the Accessport in many different ways. Basically, I would recommend the JB4 to anybody who's just trying to wake their car up a little bit. I really enjoyed, let me see, what map is it? Here, I'll just start driving really slow. How do we do map? Settings, map. I really enjoyed map 2, which was the 93 plus map. If you guys don't want to mess around and get the ethanol sensor and do any of that, I mean, I would just get a JB4, hook that bad Larry up, maybe get the intake, get an exhaust. You know, that's about $2 to $3 grand right there, depending on the brands you choose and the deals you get. And your car will feel significantly better than stock, and you will not have voided your warranty as long as you don't bring the car to the dealership with all those mods on it. Now, should they void your warranty for a catback exhaust? That almost never happens. The intake, you know, they could maybe, but the JB4, if the JB4 was still on your car, I would expect them to raise some eyebrows at you. I'll give it some beans right here. So, I'd say for the casual enthusiast, ETS intake with airbox, some sort of ETS exhaust, and the JB4. You don't need the flex fuel part of it because that'll add extra money to it, and then that also opens you up to just other stuff. So I think that that's a fair shake. Now, other mods I have are the charge pipe. I have wheels and tires. Let's see, and we're running that flex fuel. We're running the E30 blend right now. We are running E37, so a little bit spicier than E30. You can't really feel the difference between like an E30 and E37. So I usually just keep the ethanol content a bit above 30 so that it never falls below 30. But yes, we have the charge pipe from Perrin. ETS does have one of those as well. They just didn't come out with it in time, so Tommy ordered the Perrin run before we could get the ETS one. And that is about it. Intake, charge pipe, exhaust, JB4, wheels, and tint. Now you might say, why am I even talking about tint? Well, you kind of need the tint because this screen glares super bad. It is terrible. So with that being said, I mean, the car looks way better with tint too, as most cars do. So I highly recommend tint. You know, I'm not going to tell you what tint I got on it because, you know, legal reasons. Tint in 2022, so we'll leave it at that. But what are we doing next? Well, I obviously plan on keeping the JB4 because I have this, you know, MagSafe phone mount right here that also charges, hence MagSafe. But yeah, I mean, you guys probably guessed it. Accessport. Guessy downpipe, probably, or it's called a J-pipe, but you guys know what it is, a downpipe from ETS. You know, Accessport from Cobb, and probably gonna grab the mud flaps. Got to do a video on the mud flaps, as you guys know. We also have partnered up with a company that has sent us a different exhaust for this car, so you guys can hear some other options. And yes, there are actually going to be some mufflers and some resonators on this one, so you guys can hear a more reasonable person exhaust. Not that the exhausts for this car are very loud. If you guys are used to Subarus in the past, the Subaru Subarus in the past with the unequal length headers, you had to be careful with what exhaust you bought because you could be really sitting on some drone. It was crucial. It used to be crucial to at least get a resonator, whereas now the car's got a lot smoother exhaust pulse, so the drone isn't bad. Now the volume in this car is still pretty high, and there are some little squeaks and rattles developing in the rear, like near the rear roof and the rear trunk liner, because this is the unresonated, unmuffled ETS Extreme catback, because I wanted to be able to hear what the car sounded like. On a side note, the car with what's it called? The car with the downpipe, the new, like a Gezi downpipe or Gezi downpipe, they sound crazy. Like they sound so much deeper, and you can hear that turbo just spinning away. So that is pretty much it, folks. Downpipe, Accessport, oh, a clutch as well. That's another big kicker, is we're gonna need to do a clutch soon. I don't know if we're gonna do the not the ETS. I don't know if we are going to do the ACT clutch, or which exact clutch we are going to do, but we are gonna have to do a clutch soon because I have been launching this car and you can tell. But we are at the bank. Y'all can consider yourself warned, consider yourself reviewed, consider yourself advised as far as if you want this, then you should do that. But I am not your tuner. I am not your builder. I am only a dude on YouTube who barely knows how to use a JB4 and barely knows how to drive manual. So with that being said, if you guys are wondering what else I think about the 2022 WRX, you guys can go watch my other videos where I talk about all the issues with this, some of the issues over here, what I like, what I don't like, and some of the in-between stuff. We've got plenty of track time now on the 8th mile, and you guys can look forward to us going to the 1/4 mile because I have Beach Bend Raceway Park, which is in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And that is only about an hour and 20 minutes away from here where I live, which is nice and close for a good 1/4 mile track. So with that being said, check out destroyer1320.com. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, then, and you guys know how, you have friends with Mopars, with, you know, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Rams, then you need to be referring them to destroyer1320.com. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's about to get dark. I need to get some money out. Stay safe out there, and I will see you guys in the next video.